Your 30s can make or break your financial future. By now, you're not just hustling through your 20s anymore. You probably have a career, maybe a family, and bigger responsibilities on your shoulders. But here's the truth. One or two careless money mistakes right now can quietly cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next few decades. And the crazy part, most people don't even realize they're making these mistakes until it's too late. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 of the most common money mistakes people make in their 30s and how you can avoid them. Stick around, because mistake number 8 is one that almost everyone falls for, and fixing it could completely change your financial trajectory. Why focus on your 30s? Because this decade is your launchpad. If your 20s were about experimenting, your 30s are about execution. Compound growth only works in your favor if you start early. And since retirement isn't that far away anymore, you don't have decades to figure it out later. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Delaying your retirement savings. The number one regret people in their 40s and 50s have is not starting retirement savings earlier. In your 30s, time is still your greatest asset. 10 years of compound interest is the difference between retiring comfortably or struggling later. Here's a quick illustration. Suppose you put $300 monthly into an IRA, and it earns an average 7% a year. If you start at 30 and keep going until 60, you'd end up with about $352,000. But if you wait until 40 to start, you'd only have around $152,000. Same contribution, but delaying 10 years costs you about $200,000 in growth. Now, of course, these numbers are just an illustration. Actual returns vary, but the lesson is clear. The earlier you start, the more compounding works in your favor. To avoid this mistake, start planning for retirement early on. The real key to building retirement savings isn't a big lump sum, it's consistency. Small recurring contributions add up, and compounding does the heavy lifting over time. If your employer offers a retirement plan with a match, take full advantage of it. And if not, open a traditional or Roth IRA and commit to steady monthly investments. The secret is staying consistent. That's what makes the difference over decades. And oh, don't forget to automate your contributions to make the process hassle-free. Mistake number 2. Lifestyle inflation. This is one of the silent killers of wealth. You finally start earning more money in your 30s, and what happens? You upgrade your car, move into a bigger house, go on more expensive vacations, and slowly, your expenses rise to match your income. Here's the danger. If every raise you get is matched with a lifestyle upgrade, it might be difficult to build wealth. For example, if you make $60,000 at age 30, and by 35 you're making $80,000, but you also upgraded your lifestyle so your expenses eat up that entire raise, you're not better off financially. You're just treading water. Here's a fix. Commit to living like you're still earning less, even when your salary increases. Funnel raises or bonuses straight into savings and investments. That way, your wealth grows without feeling deprived. Mistake number 3. Carrying high-interest debt. Carrying high-interest debt is one of the expensive mistakes you can make in your 30s. Credit card debt, personal loans, or payday loans with 15 to 25% interest rates, sometimes even higher, eat into your future wealth. High-interest debt quickly snowballs, keeping you stuck in a cycle of payments and slowing down your bigger financial goals. To fix this, focus on wiping out high-interest debt as fast as possible while making minimum payments for other debts. Use credit only for true needs, not wants, and if it helps, explore strategies like debt consolidation if it helps lower interest rates. Mistake number 4. Not budgeting and spending impulsively. One of the biggest reasons people struggle financially in their 30s isn't because they don't make enough money. It's because they don't have a plan for the money they already make. Without a budget, every dollar that comes in flows straight back out, often on things you didn't even plan for. Impulse spending is the silent thief here. You tell yourself it's just one time, except it happens every week. Maybe it's eating out. upgrading a gadget you don't really need, or signing up for another subscription. And over time, those little leaks add up to thousands. Money that could have been building your savings or investments instead. So, how do you fix this? Create a simple budget that actually works for you. It doesn't need to be complicated. Even tracking your expenses for just 30 days will open your eyes to where your money's really going. A good starting point is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings or debt. The key is this: give every dollar a job before you spend it. When you do that, you'll cut down impulse spending and finally feel in control of your money. Mistake number 5. Living above your means. Living above your means is one of the fastest ways to stay broke in your 30s. It happens when your expenses are higher than your income. And guess what fills that gap? Debt, which then creates more payments, more interest, and more stress. It's like digging a hole and throwing away the ladder. Maybe it's swiping the credit card for vacations, driving a car that eats half your paycheck, or renting an apartment just to impress. On the outside, it looks good, but on the inside, your finances are bleeding. The danger here is that debt piles up quietly. You're paying interest on top of interest, and every month you dig a deeper hole. It's not just about money. This habit creates constant stress and keeps you one emergency away from financial disaster. To avoid this, start by facing the numbers. Track your income and expenses honestly. If your lifestyle doesn't fit your paycheck, you've got two options: cut back or earn more. But here's the truth: more income only helps if you fix your money habits first. Otherwise, you'll just spend more and stay stuck. So start by learning to live on less than you earn, then focus on growing your income to accelerate your progress. The goal isn't to strip all the fun out of your life. It's to make sure you're living on less than you earn, so you can save, invest, and breathe without debt hanging over you. Mistake number 6. Not building an emergency fund. Life in your 30s is unpredictable. Job loss, medical bills, car breakdowns. They all hit harder when you have more responsibilities. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to rely on credit cards or loans. Here's what to do. Aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield savings account. Start small. Even $1,000 is a good first milestone. This fund isn't just money, it's peace of mind. Mistake number 7. Neglecting health and insurance. In your 30s, your health might feel bulletproof, but skipping health insurance or life insurance is a dangerous gamble. One hospital stay can wipe out years of savings. Health insurance protects against medical costs. Life insurance protects your family if something happens to you, and disability insurance covers your income if you're unable to work. Here's the catch. Stay on top of health checkups and invest in the right insurance coverage. Remember, insurance isn't about you. It's about protecting the people who depend on you. Mistake number 8. Overspending on housing. Now this one is huge, and honestly, most people fall for it. Housing is usually the single biggest monthly expense in your 30s. Whether you're renting or buying, and the mistake is stretching your budget too thin just to live in a certain area, or buying way more house than you can realistically afford. Here's the trap. On paper, the bank might approve you for a $300,000 mortgage, but just because they say you can afford it doesn't mean you actually should. Between mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, you can end up being what's called house poor. All your money goes into the roof over your head, and you've got nothing left to save, invest, or even enjoy life. A good rule of thumb is to keep housing costs around 25 to 30% of your monthly income. That way, you've still got room in your budget for savings, investments, and a lifestyle you can sustain without drowning in bills. If you're renting, don't get seduced by the fancy apartment if it means you can't save. If you're buying, don't max out the mortgage just because the bank says you qualify. Your home should give you stability and comfort, not financial stress. Mistake number 9. Avoiding the pre-wedding money talk. One of the biggest financial mistakes couples make in their 30s is skipping the money talk before getting married. Love is great, but bills, debt, and financial goals are what you'll be living with day to day. Too many couples go into marriage without being honest about their income, debts, savings, or spending habits. And then, 6 months in, they're fighting because one person is a spender, the other is a saver, or because surprise debts suddenly show up. Here's the smarter move. Have the uncomfortable conversation before the wedding. Talk about income, debt, credit scores, financial goals, and even how you'll handle joint versus separate accounts. It might feel awkward at first, but it builds trust, and it's way better than discovering these things after the vows. Marriage is a partnership, and money has to be part of that partnership. Mistake number 10. No career growth plan. Your career is one of the biggest wealth-building tools, yet many people coast through their 30s, staying in the same role for years without negotiating raises or improving skills. If your income stagnates while costs rise, you fall behind. Keep investing in yourself, take certifications, attend workshops, or develop high-demand skills. Don't be afraid to ask for raises or explore better opportunities. Side hustles or freelancing can also diversify your income streams. Think of it this way. An extra $10,000 a year from a raise or side hustle, invested wisely, could turn into hundreds of thousands by retirement. Now, I promised you 10 mistakes and their fix, but let me give you 3 extra mistakes to avoid that most people in their 30s often also overlook. Mistake number 11. Not seeking financial education. Here's the truth. School teaches you math, history, and maybe how to dissect a frog, but it doesn't teach you how money actually works. And if you hit your 30s without actively seeking financial education, you're flying blind. The danger is this. When you don't understand things like compound interest, credit, investing, or taxes, you end up making costly mistakes. Not because you're careless, but because you simply didn't know any better. So what's the smarter move? Start learning. Read books on personal finance. Follow reputable channels. Listen to podcasts. Even take short courses. You don't need to become a Wall Street expert, but the more you understand, the better choices you'll make. Remember, money rewards those who take the time to understand it. Mistake number 12. Failing to diversify investments. Another mistake people in their 30s make is putting all their eggs in one basket when it comes to investing. Maybe it's keeping everything in company stock. Maybe it's only buying real estate. Or maybe it's just leaving all their savings sitting in a single account. The problem? If that one investment crashes, so does your financial future. Diversification is about spreading risk. Different assets, like stocks, bonds, index funds, real estate, don't all move the same way at the same time. By spreading your investments across different areas, you protect yourself from losing everything if one thing goes wrong. Here's the smarter move. Don't chase the hottest single investment. Instead, build a balanced portfolio. Even something as simple as low-cost index funds already gives you exposure to hundreds of companies. As your wealth grows, you can add other assets like real estate or bonds. The goal is simple. Let your money grow, but make sure it's protected. And finally, the last mistake on our list. Mistake number 13. Keeping up with the Joneses. By your 30s, your peers start buying homes, driving new cars, and posting vacation pictures on Instagram. The pressure to keep up is real, but it's also financially deadly. Here's the truth. Sometimes most of the people you're comparing yourself to may be quietly stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe swimming in debt. What looks like success on the outside can often hide financial chaos on the inside. Here's the catch. Define success on your terms. Focus on your financial goals, not someone else's highlight reel. The goal is to be rich, not to look rich. Imagine yourself at 40. Will you look back and thank your 30-year-old self for being disciplined, or regret not taking action? The good news is, it's never too late to course correct. Even small changes, like cutting lifestyle inflation or starting with just $100 invested a month, can snowball into life-changing results. Your financial freedom in your 50s and 60s depends on what you do right now. The takeaway? Your 30s are not the time to coast. They're the time to set strong financial habits that will carry you for decades. Now I want to hear from you. What other financial mistakes do you think people in their 30s fall into? Drop it in the comments. If you found value in this video, give it a like, subscribe to Wallet Sage, and share it with friends and loved ones. Thanks for watching, and remember, money is a tool. Use it wisely, and it will work for you, not against you.